Whilst Root Riders did get a sizable nerf, they are still definitely strong inside Clash of Clans, and today I'm going to show you the top 3 best Root Rider attack strategies. At number 3, we have a generic Root Rider Spam. This army is not as strong as it was pre-update, but it's still very strong. Now, you'll notice I am using a Valk on this side of the funnel. If you're willing to spend the Dark Elixir, it's worth getting a few Super Barbs in this army, but I figured I'd show you a version of this army right here, which doesn't require any Dark Elixir. Now, you might be thinking, Hooked, 4 Headhunters, that is a lot to bring in the army comp, but watch these Headhunters run across the core of the base here. They're going to go and trigger the Poison Tower on the other side of the base, and that's why I love bringing so many Headhunters. Not only are they really good to deal with the defensive heroes, which the Root Riders cannot do, but also if you get some of them in your Warden ability, they can go and trigger traps and spell towers on the other side of the base. Now, I should have put this heal spell down way earlier. Generally, you want, as soon as your Root Riders come out of the Warden ability, that's when you'd put the heal spell down. But it does work out okay here, and I mean, this base is completely wrecked. And notice this, the King and Queen did not go with the Root Riders. Another reason to bring so many Headhunters, because if my Valks had died early, I'd have no way to deal with the defensive heroes. So best to have, you know, up to 4 Headhunters in this comp to make it work. Now, I've seen a lot of you saying that this army isn't as strong, and obviously it's not as strong post-update, but that it's quite weak. A lot of you seem to not be bringing the Apprentice Warden or Headhunters with the army comp, and in my opinion, they are an absolute must. So go with this army comp and let me know if you're still struggling with the army. Also, I know this base wasn't maxed, but it was close enough, and look at how many Root Riders I have up. It wouldn't matter if it was maxed anyway, and in case you're wondering about the hero equipment, my hero equipment's not even that strong on this account, and we're still able to completely smoke this box space. This here might be my favorite army in the game at the moment. Now, it looks like just Zap Root Rider, but no, it is so much more than that. We are bringing the Fireball, so if you don't have the Fireball upgraded, this strategy probably isn't as much for you, but I wanted to put this in the top 3. I actually had a video on it that we were going to post, but the update came a little too early, and I couldn't have the nerfed Root Riders in a video when they were still strong. So what do you do with this attack strategy? You've got the Fireball, and essentially, you're going to pick a target for your Fireball. So for me here, I'm aiming for this Expo or the Rage Tower that you see in the core of the base, and I want to clear out as much as possible. And whilst this is going on, I'm starting to think of where I want to zap, and notice I zapped on the complete other side of the base and got rid of the Rage Tower, a Scatter, and a Ricochet Cannon. And what this means is, once this Fireball is done, there is so few major targets on the base to take down. So the Warden Walk's coming in here, and as soon as this Scatter Shot goes down, I'm going to pop the Fireball ability. So we use a Headhunter here to deal with the defensive RC. Fireball goes down. I thought it might get the CC, but it doesn't. It does hit the Eagle, unfortunately doesn't quite take it down. Now, if you don't know how many Quakes you need, essentially if you've got a level 18 Fireball, you'll need 2 Quakes to finish off most defenses, and then 3 to finish off the Eagle. When you've got the maxed out Fireball, then it's 1 Quake for everything and 2 for the Eagle. So we pull the Root Riders down to the bottom, and essentially the Root Riders there to tank for your King and Queen and open up the base. And then I got the Siege Barracks on the other side of the base, and the Siege Barracks is really handy because if there's no Flame Fling of value, you get all of those troops. They help assist the Royal Champion, and look at this, right? The Root Riders don't have the Eternal Tome here, but when you've got raged healers and there's no major defenses really left up on the base at this point, the Root Riders just run over it. Yeah, there's a few with low health, but we're going straight through the Town Hall here, and they're still going to survive. And this army wasn't really that affected by the hit point nerf because the Root Riders only have to deal with so many defenses. Doesn't matter anyway. That defensive Queen is going to get dealt with, and look, the Royal Champion on the top side. And this army is just as simple as we're taking down so many of the major defenses on the base, there is nothing left to shoot back in the end, and yeah, this gets completely and utterly wrecked. If you'd like to see a video on this army comp, let me know and I'll make it happen because I am really enjoying this army at the moment. Super strong, heaps of fun, and definitely worth it if you've upgraded the Fireball. But what army do we have at number 1 for you today? And at number 1, we have the exact same army comp as the first attack, but a different spell comp coming in with the double Overgrowth version. Now, the reason this army is still strong, is because you're overgrowthing the major defenses on the base, so the hit point nerf to the Root Riders is, you honestly feel it a lot less. Now, in terms of the deployment of the army, it is the exact same. We're going to have a siege barracks on a flank, funnel the other side. If you can invest in the super barbs, it's definitely worth it. And as soon as your Warden ability ends, that's when you pop the Overgrowth. Now here, I decide to make the multi-archer towers visible because I'd like to take them down. And we get a split around the core. We get the majority of our troops go one way, and some go the other way, and it's just about using your skeleton spells and your free spell at this point. Worth noting, I have a max overgrowth in the CC, but have a look at this. My overgrowth spell in my army here is level 1. I decided to show you that it is possible to do this with a level 1 overgrowth. It is a bit harder. You do have 6 seconds less for your troops to clear the outside of the base, but that is completely fine. The RC comes in on the top side. I've seen a few people use this army and they spam the RC immediately. No, wait until you can see a definite spot to use her. Using her on the top here made a lot of sense. And now the core becomes visible. Make sure you've at least got 1 freeze and 1 rage preferably, and you can use that to completely mow down the core. But I mean, look at this. I've still got my King RC ability. I've only just used my Queen ability. It looks super sketch, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure plenty of you will 1-star using this, but this works so well on ring bases, and ring bases are going to become more and more meta, but it's also pretty good on box bases. I will be doing a full video on this strategy within the next week, because look at it. It mows over bases, particularly the bases, ring bases in particular, that we struggle with most. Now you might be thinking, where is Queen Charge Root Rider, Hook? This is a pretty strong strategy, and I don't necessarily disagree. At this stage, I'm unsure how I feel about Queen Charge Root Rider, because the difference for Queen Charge Root Rider is time is a bit of a concern with the army, and the DPS nerf is definitely noticeable. Yes, it's only 20 DPS, so with 6 Root Riders, it's 120 DPS, but you do kind of notice it, so time has been more of an issue. So I still do think the army is strong, and it could definitely be stronger than, say, the generic Root Rider Valk Spam, but I'm just not sure at this stage. I used it in Legends League yesterday and didn't have amazing results with it. In saying that, some of that was due to attacker error. But yeah, I'm undecided on this one. If you'd like to see a Queen Charge Root Rider video, let me know in the comments down below, and I will show you some of the live attacks. Like you can see here, definitely still strong, but time is a massive issue with the army, and if you do mess up the Queen Charge, you're not going to 3-star, but maybe that's a good thing for the game. But yeah, let me know about what you think about my top 3 today. Do you agree, disagree, and let me know which armies you would like to see a full video on.